Hello, dear ones. I'm sat by the sea. I might have some visitors, so there might be some pauses here and there. No planned visitors, but you never know. Island magic who might appear or walk their sturdy legs down here from the sea. I hope you're all having a blessed full moon weekend. I'm speaking to you from unceded Coast Salish territories on the so-called US, off the coast of the continental so-called US. I recently started speaking to the land in names that it asks, that sort of appear to me in dreams or little downloads here and there, rather than the so-called names governments and conquerors and colonizers have given it. And I'd invite you to do the same. It's rather freeing and rebellious in a way that is foundational, can bring about greater change from there, but it's a starting point, a pushing off point, so recognizing the land, the sea, and going from there. So the so-called Pacific Ocean, when in fact it's water, an eternal element, cyclical, flowing, just like our darling moon that I'll be speaking to. This Libra moon, a moon of justice, the scales of balancing between, in very many ways, the self we've been conditioned to be and the self we're becoming in this season of unraveling, of gathering the bones to stack upon what's died, what's dying, what's crumbling and being composted. So we're sort of staying in that cycle of rebirth, of crone wisdom giving way to maiden opening and gathering new buds and blooms, harnessing the essences of the season in a way that is sustainable, ethical, gentle, nurturing, a matriarchal way of being more so than a patriarchal being. It's a lot of what this moon has been giving me thus far. So I'll be speaking to some of that today as we sit together for just a few minutes. So I'll switch my voice a little, make it more trance-like, and we'll begin. So if you'd like to find a comfortable seat or lay down or perch somewhere that's near and dear and comfortable to you, you're welcome to shut your eyes or find a steady point to gaze upon in front of you and drop it in. Simple as that, here and now, contented with where and how you are at present, loving every molecule and cell and essence and wave of self, allowing for it to flow in waves. This full moon amplifying our waters, our blood, this full moon amplifying the self that we're refining at present, the self that we're allowing to come through, however that may be or feel for you. Take a couple of breaths and just feel into how you are here and now. Know that I'm breathing with you every step of the way. I'm right here with you, holding space for you. You are safe, held, nurtured, loved, every molecule and cell and essence of you. Allow for this to be felt in every layer of you. And then as you're ready, begin to see yourself rather plain, like a stick figure of yourself, flat, a line drawing. This flat version of you, what is there? You're one-dimensional, two-dimensional, not quite even three-dimensional. The flat Stanley version of you, can you see this being? Know it is you. a building block of you, though not all of you. Can you breathe with it and love it? And then, this condensed version of you, can you allow for it to expand in every breath? Allow it to be warped by the elements, by your own visions, callings, and dreams, by your own becoming and unbecoming, your somebodyness, your nobodyness, your all plus noneness, your shimmer, your dull, your sharp, your shadow, your light, your dark, your death and dying, your grieving. All, none, none, none. Allow it to expand you, this flat, stick-like figure of you. And in the expansion, who do you see this self becoming? To your limbs, or your fingers, toes, whatever you have, do they start to spiral or zigzag? Do they grow to be multidimensional, to take on something that perhaps you once thought yourself to be less than, but you know yourself rather to be greater than and enough as? Do they take on the echoes in this great hall of mirrors in a way that is careful, refined, processed before being taken on? Can you allow for this flat self to be submerged in many pools of being, many ways of being, molded into a self that you were and are since time immemorial? The self can become a swirly doodle, can become something as vast as the sea itself and the sun's beams flickering upon it. It can become sharp or softened, somewhere in between, one side sharp, one side softened. But this self, it grows, becomes a landscape of a body upon a body upon a body, the unseen, the unfelt realms echoing through the self that was once flat and is now expanded. And in a balanced state, I invite you to become contented with whatever drawing, etching of self you've curated just now. It is impermanent, as in all things, but it is a self that is relevant to you, be it now or a time that you feel you've touched upon, be it thoughts of future, present, past. Self, a self that you know, that is condensed within you in non-relation to temporality. It is a self that is transcendent and ancient, a self that knows the bones, a self that knows the scales, that knows that it comes from the sea and will return to the sea. This self that is you, and you are enough. Bring moonlight into your vision, let it seep through and awaken this multifaceted, multidimensional self that is carved for you by the gods and the goddesses and everything in between. It is a self that is spherical and eternal. It is a self that you are worthy of. And I want you to know you are worthy of it. All you are. All that it will take of you to sacrifice, to realign and reassess and go through many retrogrades to find this self. You're worth it. This moon steadies you and who you've been, who you're becoming. Who you are here and now is enough, enough, enough. Be content in that. Blessed be.